Hey everybody, welcome back to my kitchen. Today we are making a pretty quick and easy dinner. We're doing chicken enchiladas that you are going to cover with a nice white chili sauce, and we're going to bake those. We're going to serve that with a cilantro lime rice, some refried beans, and maybe a side salad to get some veggies in there. So let's get started and see where we end up. Let me get my New Wave on to get my to start melting my butter. And this is a little loud, so if you hear that noise, it's the fan. So I started today by boiling chicken breast. You don't have to boil chicken breast. You can use canned chicken if you want. You can use rotisserie chicken from Walmart or Sam's or whatnot if you want. You can, I don't know, leftover chicken. I boiled 3 large chicken breasts today for this. To that I added about a half teaspoon of pepper, no salt. I didn't add any salt because I'm using a chicken broth today. I also added about a tablespoon of garlic powder, a tablespoon of onion powder as well. I boiled it till it was done. I took it out, I cooled it for a moment. I took 2 forks and shredded it, and this is my result. Let me turn this down. And this is my result. So I ended up with about maybe 3 cups, I think. So this is going to be our filling. So to this, we are going to add, and this is 2 cups of pepper jack cheese. So to this, you're going to add about 3/4 of this pepper jack cheese. You're going to reserve about a half a cup or a little more so that you can sprinkle it on top. This is actually, let me see what my measurements were. This is a teaspoon of onion powder, a teaspoon of garlic powder, 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, 1/4 teaspoon of salt. The recipe calls for sazon. Don't know if you know what that is, but basically this is all MSG. I don't want that. You don't want that. So I'm leaving that aside, and I'm going to go ahead and add my own spices. I kind of looked to see what was in that mix. And just put in whatever I thought we needed from there, minus the sodium, minus the MSG. So I'm dumping that in there, and I'm going to give this a pretty good toss. This is a very simple recipe. I've made this before, not with the white sauce, with a green sauce. But today we're going to go ahead and use up the white sauce, which I'm starting over here on my burner. So I do want to point one thing out while we're getting this situated and tossed in. For my eagle eye viewers, normally you will notice I have on acrylic nails. Today I don't, and I'll tell you why. I've worn them for quite a while, like everybody does, right? And I started having some really bad issues with my nails. So I opted that when I went last time and got them removed, instead of having a new set put on, I'm just going to let them kind of do their own thing for, for 4 to 6 weeks or so, just to see if I can get my nail health back. They're a little, got some ridges and whatever. Not really, they're not looking healthy. So, unfortunately, you're going to have to deal with my stubby little fingers. I am a nail biter. I'm sorry. But, so if you're wondering where my nails have gone, that's your answer. So, another 4 to 6 weeks, we'll see if there's any improvement. And whether I get them put back on or not, I don't know. I'm thinking maybe not. So, we are now going to get out our tortillas. This is a 9x12 baking dish. And let me get my ham spray. I knew I forgot something. So let's spray this a little bit, set that aside. The tortillas I'm using, I got these. It says, the recipe says to actually use taco size, but I mean, I'm feeding my son and he's not going to want a little taco size. So I got the burrito size. There's 8 in this package, and through trial and error I have found that that is exactly what fits in here. It's a little bit of a tight squeeze, but that's okay. So all we're going to do is we're going to take these, and I took these out of the package. I wrapped them in a damp paper towel while I was waiting to get everything set up so that they didn't dry out and become crumbly. So I do know this. For this size tortilla to fit in this pan, we need to bend this down a little bit. So I'm going to have you fold that down just a hair, and then we're going to put some of our filling in, and this is the easiest thing you've ever done. We're going to roll it up. It's not going to be like a burrito or anything. We're just rolling it up. And you're going to have the rolled side down. So I'm going to go ahead and do those. It is a gorgeous day here in upstate New York. It is, however, freezing. I don't know what's going on with the weather. It really needs to turn because, you know, March is supposed to come in like a lion and go out like a lamb, not the opposite. So, you know, I did looked out my window earlier. Maybe I'll post this video too. I did take a little bit of a video, sent it to my kids at work while they're at work. I had 3 really young deer in my side yard, and playing around by the stream. So that was kind of interesting to see. They were so cute. And then they jumped the stream, went into the neighbor's yard, jumped their fence, and went into the woods. So, you know. For this chicken, you may have enough for the 8. You may have enough for 10. You may not have enough for 8. It's trial and error. You may need more chicken. You may need less chicken. If you have more than enough, freeze it for the next time. If you don't have enough, then just do as many as you can, and next time you'll know to make more. That's all there is to that. I don't stress it too much, only because I have enough sides going on with the refried beans and the rice that I'm not really going to stress that. Pretty sure I've got plenty here. Probably got some leftovers. And if you do have leftovers, what I generally do, I put it in the fridge. The next day, what I will do, I'm going to be able to fit my 8 in here. The next day, and it's a tight fit. It's a tight fit with 8 large ones, just to let you know. So if I have leftover chicken, which it looks like I'm going to have maybe a cup, maybe less. What I will do is I will take that the next day. I will reheat some of my rice. I will throw that on top, and I'll have myself a nice rice bowl. So, I mean, I have maybe about a cup left. Not a lot. Enough for lunch tomorrow, I guess. Okay, so that's done. And now, this is how they look in the pan. Simple, right? Extremely simple. I'm going to set those aside. I'm going to pull over my New Wave, and we're going to go ahead and make the sauce. So I'm going to turn this back up. I turned it down on low because I didn't want my butter to burn. In the pot, I have 4 tablespoons of butter. And to that, I am going to whisk in 4 tablespoons of flour, and we're making a basic roux. Really basic. And we're going to cook this for, I mean, people say 2 to 3 minutes. I cook it maybe, I don't know, 60 seconds maybe, just so that you get that flour taste out. And make sure you don't burn this, because we don't want it to be a dark roux. We want it to be a blonde roux, because we want a white sauce. Waiting for this to come up to temp, And then we can go ahead and put in our broth. I'm using this today. I actually found this when I went to the store today. It's actually unsalted. I've seen low sodium, I've seen it with regular, I've seen fat-free, but I've never seen unsalted. So I grabbed it to try. And we have, I have 3.5 cups here. I'm only going to use 3 cups to begin with. And I'll tell you why in a minute. I really, I'm not somebody that has luck with a roux, so we'll see what happens. I may have to make a slurry with some cornstarch, and to get this thick, I'm not sure. So, I mean, I am not a person to measure anything. I cook the way my mama did, my grandmother, and, you know, those before me, trial and error. If it looks like it's not enough, add some more. If it looks like it's, you know, it's too much, take some away. You know, you put too much salt in, throw a potato in, take the salt out. You know, that's how I cook. So, to actually, this is why I don't post a recipe. You know, y'all need to ask me questions because honestly, I really don't know. I mean, I can put the amount that I put into things, but 100% transparency, sometimes I'm putting in a little bit more. I mean, so it's got to be for you, it's got to be to taste for you. Whatever you feel is, you know. So for this sauce, we're adding sour cream to this. We are in no way, shape, or form going to let this boil. If we let this boil and add our sour cream in, we're going to have nothing but a curdled mess. So this is not something that we want to let boil. We just want to get it, we want to cook it for about a minute or so. It's going to thicken in the oven. You're going to pour it on and it's going to thicken as it cooks in the oven and bakes. So we're just going to cook this for about a minute. Am I making a mess? We aren't going to actually, yes I am, we're not going to actually boil it because of that reason. And I'm not really feeling it thicken yet. And I want to turn it down because I don't want it to boil. And the reason I had more, where was I going with this? The reason I had more broth was in case it was too thick, I could thin it out. Let me just double check something. So if you want to see if something is getting thicker or thick enough, you want to see if it coats the back of a spoon. If it coats it pretty well, you should be okay. If it doesn't, keep going a little bit. Like I said, just don't let this boil, because if we let it boil, we're probably going to have a problem with our sour cream when we get it put in. Okay. Oh, nice. I'm going to put in just a little more broth. We're starting to thicken. Put in just a hair more broth. So this is my New Wave burner. You heard me talk about this before. I love it. I will tell you that in the beginning I was a little upset because I couldn't use my regular pans, and I have some really, really nice pans. I had to get some different pans. This is an induction burner, and not all pans will work on this. You can set the pan there all day long and it's not going to do anything but sit there. So I actually had to go out and purchase some induction cookware, and FYI, in case you ever care or want to know, rule of thumb, if you can take a magnet from your fridge, stick it to the bottom of your pan and it stays, it'll work on here. If you take a magnet, stick it there and it falls off, it won't even heat up. It'll sit there all day long, the machine won't even run. So the beeping you hear is because I've got it on hold. This thickened up quite a bit. I'll double check it with my spoon method. It is holding onto the back of a spoon. I think I'm going to thicken this just a little bit more. Let me do this a little more. I'm not quite happy with that. Well, I am getting it thicker. I will tell you that here I have, what do I have? I have a half a teaspoon of salt, a half a teaspoon of pepper, a teaspoon of onion powder, and a quarter teaspoon of garlic that I'm going to put in here because this also asked for that Saison seasoning, and you don't want that in there. I mean, some people probably love it. It's just not for me. We don't need that MSG in our food, right? I think we're almost there where we need to be, guys. Yeah, there we go. See how it's coating the back of my spoon? Can you see that? Perfect. Couple more minutes. Remember, we're not boiling. We are not going to boil. We don't want to curdle our sour cream. Okay, this is good. This is good. Let me turn this off. We are done with this. Off. Slide it out of the way. And this burner is good as well because all that's going to get hot on this is where the pan's been. The outer edge here. I mean, you saw this. We were up to 425 degrees. I can feel heat in this one round center. The outside completely cold. This middle here cold. Where the pan was, I wouldn't put my hand on it right now. But just to let you know, that's a good feature there as well. So in my bowl here, I have 1.5 cups of sour cream. We're going to go ahead and add these, and I'm going to add it just a little bit at a time. I don't want anything to be curdling here. Once I get this first amount in, then we can go ahead and go forward with the rest. So you want to make sure you've taken it off the burner, whatever kind of apparatus you're using to cook. Take it off and then put your sour cream in. Don't put it in before. And no boiling. I can't stress that enough. No boiling. Okay, there's our sour cream. We've got our spices in there. Making a beautiful white sauce. These are going to bake in a 350-degree oven for 30 minutes. You're going to let them sit for about 10-15 minutes after they come out, so everything kind of solidifies as it should. Hopefully you can see how this looks. A nice white sauce. To this, I am adding green chilies. These are fire roasted and peeled. My Walmart did not have a 4-ounce can. So I got a 7-ounce can. I took 2 tablespoons out, put them in a little snack size freezer bag or Ziploc bag, and I put them in the freezer for my next round of cooking. But this is what they are. You can see in the can. I did drain the juice because I mean, you can probably leave it in, but I drained it. These are going straight in. So the whole can, if it's a 4-ounce, the entire can. If you can only find the 7-ounce like I did, because you know, things are a little sparse, then you can go ahead and you can take 2 tablespoons out. That'll give you your 4 ounces, and then you can go ahead and dump them in. So we're going to stir the chilies into our sauce. This smells amazing, by the way. And we are going to pour this over the top. just like that. If you have too much that you've made, like it looks like I might have, make sure that the tortillas are all covered. Because you want to have a little sauce left, you know, when you take them out. This is going to soak up quite a bit of sauce. So if you feel you have too much sauce, you know, keep it and freeze it, or use it, you know, the next day. But I mean, this is what the recipe calls for. I don't believe it's too much because you want it to have sauce when you're done, so that when you take it out of the oven and you serve it, you've got some sauce to kind of drizzle over the top too. So don't sweat that if it comes out looks like there's a little bit too much. This is the remainder of the cheese, and the recipe called for Monterey Jack cheese. I was using pepper jack cheese. I got the pre-shredded kind, though I know I've told you in the past it's really not the best melting cheese. I guess you could use some Mexican melting cheese on this if you wanted to. I just got the pepper jack. So here's what we look like going in the oven. This is going 30 minutes, 350. The last couple of minutes, if you want to, you know, put it up to a higher rack, turn on the broiler just to get it a little brown. You can do that as well. We are going to serve this today with the cilantro rice. So let me get that over here. I think I wasn't going to, but let me put that together for you too. So what I did was I actually used brown rice instead of white. And I ghosted my house. And I made for a serving, a 6 serving size, and I just followed the directions on the package. You can use pre-packaged rice. You can use, you know, some of those Lipton side rices. You can do whatever you want. I used brown rice because that's what I had the most of, and that's what I use most of the time. And yeah, so I cooked this according to direction. I did not put butter in, and I did not put salt in. I just left it alone. So as you can see, it came out pretty nice. I just love brown rice. I like that little bite it has. So we've got brown rice, 6 servings. To that 6 servings, I am going to squirt in, this is sunflower oil. You can use olive oil, you can use vegetable, you can use any kind of oil you want. I'm going to squeeze in, I'm just eyeballing about a tablespoon of oil. So a tablespoon of oil. I'm going to stir that around to incorporate it a little bit, make sure everything's coated. And I'm going to actually have this I'm going to put this on top of my stove. And I don't know how many of you all know this, but I have an electric stove. And on the electric stove, the back left burner has a little, I'll call it a pipe for lack of knowing, like a vent that comes up if you look. And it's what that is for basically is to be a warming burner. So while this is cooking, I'll have this on that burner with the burner turned off, and the heat from the oven will keep this warm. So to this, these are my spices I'm putting in here. I have about half a teaspoon of, or I have a teaspoon of onion powder, a half a teaspoon of garlic, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper. I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle that in as well. Give it a good stir. I'm sloppy today. So, how do you guys like these cooking videos? I mean, I don't know. I'm not a professional chef. I'm just somebody that likes to cook in the kitchen and throw stuff together for my family. Sometimes I cook on a whim. I wasn't actually going to make this video today, but I said, no, this is something that I should tape. This is something I should tape because, you know, how often am I going to make this? I probably only make this maybe, I don't know. This I've never made, but I do sometimes do this with ground beef, taco seasoning, and I'll put just canned chili over the top with some cheese. So another option for you. But I mean, for this, I mean, am I going to make this again? I don't know. I haven't had it. But I said, let me do my trial and error with my people. So this is why you are on this video, or why you're getting this video today. This is 3 tablespoons of lime juice. I'm just putting that in, giving it a good stir. You can use fresh cilantro, you can use dried cilantro, you can, I wouldn't use that cilantro that's in the squeeze tube. No, I wouldn't do that. I would use dried or, either dried or fresh. And fresh, you're going to want about maybe 3 or 4 tablespoons. The dry is always going to be more pungent than fresh. So I have a tablespoon in here, and it's already crushed and chopped, but I like to do this with my dried spices just to kind of wake them up a little bit to get that. Here comes my doggy. Hey, buddy. What's going on, dude? And we're just going to go ahead and mix this up. This I have made before. It is pretty good. And that's all there is to it. Let me get some on a spoon to show you. Love having this right here. So this is what it'll look like when it's done. I'm going to try it right now. Smells good. Tastes good. Could use a hair more salt. But I'm going to let people salt it as they go. So, that's what I'm serving tonight. I'm going to put this in the oven, 350 degrees for 30 minutes. This is going on my back left burner to stay warm. It's still pretty hot. And so these will go on the plate. A little serving of this. I'm doing refried beans. I normally make my own, but we've had this discussion before that I get these from the Dollar Tree. It's La Sierra premium refried pinto beans, Mexico's bestseller, and I will tell you 100% without any kind of exaggeration, this is as good if not better than mine. So I'm not sure where I left off because my battery needed changing, but I can edit out the last part and start from scratch on this one. These are the refried beans that I use. I'm pretty sure you caught that on the last portion of this before my battery died. They are as good if not better than mine. You heat these in the microwave for 60 seconds. I personally take them out of the pouch, put them in a saucepan. I just like to do that more. And yeah, so this is going to be one of our sides today as well. So let me get these in the oven. I will come back to you when these are done and I'm ready to plate dinner, and we'll see how it came out. So come back and see what we end up with. Welcome back, everybody. So dinner's ready. We're getting ready to go ahead and plate this. We've got our chicken enchiladas, which have come out of the oven, and I've let them sit here for about 15 minutes just to settle everything in. This is what they're looking like. Came out pretty good. I decided to take this cilantro rice and put it in a baking dish and put it into the oven the last 15 minutes just to make sure it was really nice and hot. So I've got that here as well. And my refried beans, which are here. So let's go ahead and get this plated. I'm going to go ahead and do a little refried beans on this plate. Some rice next to that. And one of these beautiful enchiladas. Hope I can get it out. Can't really get up under it. First one's always the worst, right? And then I want to put some of this, a little bit of the sauce over the top. I was afraid we'd have a little bit too much sauce, but I think we've got just enough. Here's what we look like. I'll do a little ranch or something on the salad. We've got our side salad, which is the spring mix, green pepper, some yellow cherry tomatoes, cucumber, red onion. I'll drizzle a little bit of ranch on there, or cilantro ranch. And I have refried beans, my cilantro lime rice, and my burrito, or my enchilada. I keep wanting to call it a burrito. So let's give it a little taste and see where we end up. It smells pretty amazing. I'm gonna go ahead and taste the rice and the refried beans. I just put mine together, that's just how I am. Excellent. Rice is really, really good. My doggy's running around going, what is that delicious smell? When can I get some? Oh, these are still really hot. So bear with me while I get a bite. And hopefully don't. Let me get a knife. And hopefully I don't burn myself. Salad out of there. Okay, so here we go. Smells delicious. I like it. Yeah. I think that's a winner. Yeah. I'm trying to think of if maybe I could have put something else in or maybe left something out. But no. I'm thinking it's good. And I'm thinking the next time I might wrap everything in there and bake it in this sauce. Do like a smear of the refried beans, some of the rice, the chicken, roll it up and do it that way. But overall, I give this meal a 5 out of 5. 100%. I'll let you know in the comments below what my family thought of it, but I think it's pretty good. So, thank you for joining me today. Again, just to recap, white chicken enchiladas with the white Monterey Jack sauce, cilantro lime rice, and the refried beans, served with a side salad. Can't get any easier than that. So thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. And until next time, make sure you are liking, subscribing, hitting the notification bell, sharing with friends, neighbors, relatives, co-workers. Make sure you leave me a comment. Did you like what I made today? Let me know. Would you have done anything different? Let me know. Have you made these before? Let me know. In the meantime, thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.